Okay, so I'm back, and I think I have a good spot. I don't know. Can you see me? I think that would be good. I really know we're a lot. Huh. So the color scheme was highly in demand. Would be La Playa. I was thinking of doing this just as a full-on shadow. It's a lot of shadow. I tend to do about 2 or 3 colors, maybe 4 if I'm pushing it, but it'll be an overall face thing. So my primer has dried, so I'm gonna be adding an actual full coverage primer. And depending on how much of in a hurry I am, I usually like to spend some amount of time making sure that my makeup is perfect, especially if I'm performing. But I get the essential areas again around my temples and underneath my eyes for the fine lines, for shadow purposes, so that it goes on smoothly, no creases, and just smooth out. This is for anyone. You can always smooth out. I do this a lot, so I'm getting these little creases, so I try not to do it as often, but my eyebrows make it look more innocent, supposedly. And then we're fine. Everything out. My lips are actually very dry right now because I just got over being sick, but hopefully it'll work. Whatever. I forgot to put moisturizer on. Always put moisturizer on. Once you wash your face, put moisturizer on. Once your moisturizer set, spray, then primer. Don't do what I just did. I acted like an amateur, because I am. So once that's done, let's let it set a little bit. I am actually overheated. I'd open the window, but they're mowing the lawn outside. And my voice sounds so much better than the lawnmower, right? So I have my setup here. I have a lot of different lipsticks. So if you're gonna do long lasting, Vivid Cosmetics actually has a great line of long last makeup lipsticks. I really love theirs, and because these actually go with the color scheme, I might be using one of these 3, which is either Café con Leche, Maria, or Que Linda. We'll see though. But I love my long last. There's been times where if you're not careful, you can rip off your lip skin. I've done it before, but that's just because I did it in a very non-safe manner. Don't try that at home. Always be safe with your skin. So I'm actually very organized. I have to put things right back where I got them. Okay, so for foundation, I always do foundation. I have fine lines, so I don't like to contour. I don't like to bake, and I have all that additional stuff because my fine lines really stand out. They did that at my friend's wedding, and you could see all my fine lines. I didn't have that. I was actually very dehydrated. Foundation. So foundation that I like to use is the Maybelline Dream Mousse. I actually have very sensitive skin. I'm allergic to parabens, so I have to make sure that any foundation or makeup that I use is paraben free. Otherwise I will break out in hives and I become very itchy, and then even if I had it on my face for like an hour, I have to wait about 2 weeks without anything on my skin. That's how badly my skin reacts to parabens. So I don't like to use my hands anymore. I'm usually pretty used to using my hands, but I use a brush to apply my foundation, and I like this. It's very matte. It's very very good about covering blemishes and dark marks. I recently had, these are all hormone acne. Sorry kids, that doesn't go away when you get older. In fact, it might happen even more. but I tend to use this, and I use three different things. Sometimes I'll use my hands depending on, yes, I'll do my lid. I will, depending on how much time I have. I try to allot at least an hour to 2 hours just to make sure that I don't mess up, because there'll be times where I'll sneeze and then my eyeliner and my mascara will mess up and I have to go and fix it, or the colors just aren't sitting on me. Depending on the foundation that I use. Oh, because I have this, I tend to take it in. Oh. There we go. And then I'll pull it back out later. Only because cleaning it, I don't like to clean around my nose. And I don't do like a very professional job when I'm doing this, only because I'm only really applying it to make sure that when I blend it out, it doesn't look so funny. It has more of a little more natural look instead of so fake. So what I like to use, and I can't find it anymore, which is very, very difficult for me. By the way, my color is it has the airbrush finish and it's 70 pure beige. I'm hoping I can still find it. I have a horrible luck of will change things and I can't find my shade anymore. So Maybelline had this dream cushion, and I really, really like this thing. This is what I would typically use to blend out. I love the consistency of this. To better set my foundation. But I just recently, but this is pretty old and I don't clean it as often. It's a little bit harder to clean, which you should never do. You should always use clean utensils no matter what. But I only recently started buying the little this thing, whatever the hell you call it, blender. But this I like to do, at least for the outside. Everything else, I find that it's a lot nicer to be able to blot. I know it's not the term, but whatever. I'm not professional. I mean, that's actually this. Why is beyond me. So I love this mirror, by the way. It helps provide the extra light that I need, because the light in this bathroom is not that great. Good for pictures, but let's be real. It's at 2 a.m. lights in the club turn on that we're more concerned about, right? And so now that we're properly blending this out, it gives a better matte look, which I was very hesitant about on the old school, but I like to stick to the tried and true. But finding the experimenting with new methods can't hurt, right? So here we go. So far so good. Getting all madness out. Okay. I'm hoping, well, I'm using my new phone, so my new phone will highlight all my imperfections, right? Because it's a super amazing camera. But yeah, I don't mind that I put foundation over my eyebrows. That people like to. This is the old school way of doing makeup. I like to stick to this. I don't like to do like eyeshadow first, eyebrows, whatever. You're just watching me. You can always disregard what I put. Anywho, so the downside to using this is that I brush into my hairline. Usually my hair will be super slick back, and I'll have to go over it with a damp towel to kind of clean out all the makeup that I have in my hair. Not a professional, folks. Anywho, so now that that's set, I'm a big Maybelline fan. I'm a big supporter of Maybelline. that just works for me. I am not super rich. I like to invest in my hair, my skin, my other products. But I like this for a matte finish. During the week when I'm working, I don't use this. I use a blend of this and a mineral powder, also Maybelline, for my day-to-day. But when I perform, I prefer this more matte look, only because I exaggerate in lips and eyebrows, or eyebrows, eyeshadow. So everything else I'll do a more matte and then go over with highlight. I like to use this really big total face brush, and I will go over it in a circular pattern to give it more of a natural brush look. And of course I brush into the hairline, into my neck. Usually our collars will go to mid-neck, so you don't see much, depending if we're gonna have a costume change or not. And some of the other dresses will have a more flirty, off the shoulder look. You'll see more of the neck, and so or if you're gonna be going out right afterwards, just be prepared. So you want to look off, which is performance makeup. So you blend as best as you can all over. If you get some shadow or my eyelids, I don't care. My makeup tends to be pretty well covered, with a lot of coverage, so I don't worry about crossing color. Integration is key. So now that I have that done, I will do my best also to do with the eyeliner. I had a special request for an eyeliner tutorial. My recommendation, no matter what, is having a solid, sturdy area to put your elbows. Sturdy elbows and a steady hand. That's the key. Okay, so far so good. Let's hope so. Alright, so I'm done that. Let me take this out because I didn't put it all the way in and it'll bother the hell out of me. I'll wash my hands. But there's no worry about contamination. No, I've recovered pretty well. Okay. Let's see. So, a lot of people would probably tell me because of the way that, or the brushes that I use to do makeup. I like to use one brush because and I have a lot of brushes. Don't think that like, oh my god, this girl is socioeconomically depressed and can only afford one brush. No, sweetie, I have plenty of brushes. I am just someone that's always busy, always on the go, and I really don't have time to be jumping between brushes. I only use very few. And there's a difference. My daily, day-to-day brush, I keep separate from the performance brush because I don't use foundation on a typical day-to-day, only when I perform. So when I clean this, it's way, way dirtier of the oils picked up from the foundation that I brush over, rather than this one, which is just moisturizer and my face powder. Very simple day-to-day. So keep them separate, clean them different. So I like to use this kind of brush to apply my eyeshadow. I don't use 18 different tiny brushes because I don't have time. Usually when I'm doing a performance, I am trying to put it off as much as possible to get ready because, you know, I try to be performance ready, not only body, but a face. Okay, so let's take a peek at these colors again. Okay, so for the eyes, they're really pretty. So we have these dark blues. It's like a cerulean, a teal. Okay, so I will be going with these 3 colors. Okay, so I like to use the same brush. If it has too much of one pigment, I will switch over. We'll see how it goes. But because I like to do more full coverage, oh, actually, what I do like to do is I do have, I use a different brush. I like this one, and I use it for underneath the brow to highlight. Since it's more of a nude, I don't have a nude anymore. I got these at Marshall's. I have these really pretty nude palettes, so I would go with more of a, this is called Cocktail, and it's the Saturday palette. I'll go with Cocktail for right under, and this is a shimmer color, right under the brow. And I probably will go over it again once I do, when I actually fill my brow. I don't do a brow brush. I do pencil, old school, call me a G, whatever, I don't care. If you don't like my methods, you asked for this. But yeah, I'm not professional, guys. But I certainly am eye-catching. I'm full of shit. I know. You guys can say this, bitch. I know. Okay. No good. Doing my best. Okay. So, I'm gonna start with, who knows what the fuck this is called? Whatever that color is, it's gorgeous. So I'm going with that. It'll be on my outside. So, try to get as much pigment as possible. And I tend to start from the corner. I do have a higher space. Unfortunately, I was blessed with this. It's not my fault, but I try to come from about here and down and in. So you'll see about how much I try to cover. I don't want to look like I have a black eye, but this gives me, also the reason why I go so far out not only is because it's performance makeup, but because it actually allows me to, it gives me a larger drawing ground when I'm doing my eyeliner, because I like to go bold and dramatic when I am performing. But I brush it into the bottom. And actually this is pretty good coverage. I like to do neutrals typically. I don't actually go this bold when I'm performing, but my goal is to at least do a little bit more of a rounded look. So I go back, and if I need to, I tend to clean up with my finger. Some people will use tape. It's great if you're doing like a cut crease. I'm not doing all that. So now the hard part is to try and mock the other side. This is usually the harder time, and more of the time that I have spent is me trying to make sure that I'm pretty even, because I don't look even right now. But, you know, not left-handed. I'm not very good at applying my makeup with my left hand. But I'll do our best. So, looks like. I'm gonna look amazing in a moment. To explain before, my makeup is actually pretty well pigmented. If it's not well pigmented, I won't use it and I won't keep it, because I don't have time to be actually blending all this out. I'm always in a hurry, which is why I tend to go with more neutrals. Neutrals are a lot faster to blend. So I'm cleaning out as best as I can because I try to use the same colors. So the next color I'm going to be using is, you know what, let's go diagonal. I'll go with this one. And I will apply it right over. This one I don't blend by brushing, I pat it on. The other one I smear on. This one I do more of a pat. And if it kind of goes in, I will blend it a little bit differently. But only because the inner part is going to look a bit different. But I try to match the height of where it is. Try to keep a curved look. And I pat it on. I find that the padding gives it more of a... It gives me a better illusion, and it allows me to see if I'm going to need a blend, and then I'll break out a blending brush. Yes, I will use a different brush. But that will depend on how well this has gone on. So again, trying to meet, not trying to go too high. I'm not looking, trying not to look like a clown. I'm trying to maintain that. If I need to, I'll add a little bit of a blue tone to try to blend it up. I'm trying to go super queen. I'm not trying to. I'm not a queen, obviously. So, what do you think so far? Pretty good? One brush. Okay, and notice I haven't gone that far in, only because I want to try to use a more of a green tone, or a different type of blue, which is part of this palette that's right here. But so far, I've been able to create the illusion of these different colors. So, get some on the lid, closer to the lash. Okay, so. No, I should not have done that. Never clean with your finger. So let's clean that up. So I have to clean this part up because I smeared it. I shouldn't have smeared it. Okay, so now I want to go with a more greenish blue. I'm gonna flip. Yeah, I'm gonna flip it. So this part, I'm gonna go with this more greenish blue part. And that'll be more of a highlight. And I won't go as high. I'm trying to stay within. I try not to pass my lash line. Okay. Redab it. So you have more of that lovely sea green color. I will try to blend it up in so that I get a good blend. So that it doesn't look too off and I haven't gone too far. So I haven't gone too far past my nose, and I will highlight with more of a sandy gold color. And that's all I really need. Performance-wise, this is the extent what I will do. If I want like more a darker tone, you could go in with a more darker blue to give more of a dramatic smoke. I'm not. Just not what I'm gonna do. So, let me try and clean this dark blue out of here. I'm gonna be messing up my makeup. Actually, no, it wasn't too bad. Okay. Yeah. one thing that you should do, I don't, like I said, I usually use neutral colors, so I don't really have to worry much about cleanup, is do this. Save you a lot of time. I didn't because I could always blend this in and play with the colors that have fallen underneath. Anywho, so going with the more sandy, it's a sandy pink shade. So luckily, I do have those colors. Ooh, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and go with the, let's play with something else. Okay. Oh, okay. So I'm actually gonna go with the Phoenix shade. I love this shade. You have no idea. I'll go with the Phoenix shade from the Supernova Beige Cosmetics, and I'm gonna use the cleaner side of the brush, right? And just a little bit goes a long way, folks. And just really get the inner part, kind of like not covering entirely, but giving a bit of a highlight. So kind of blending it in, just some dabs, not too much, because this is super, super shimmery. And it draws more attention in, and it makes it a little more dramatic when you decide to do your liner. So, oh, I should have done that. Okay. I will have a little more foundation. That's okay though. So I'm officially retiring the brush to clean it later. Amazing shimmer color. So now that we're done with that part, some people will add more of a highlight here in the middle, and if you do, I would get some color from the kaleidoscope, and I would use Aura, a beautiful shade, and just put some on top, just a little bit, give it a contrast. Lovely color. I think I'm gonna use it again a little bit. So now that those are done, what I typically do is move on to my brows. Performance-wise, because this is such a dramatic look, I actually have very thin eyebrows. I like to go with the Wet n Wild Cool. It's an eyeliner, but I like to use it for eyebrows. Only because it's has a better consistency, and I like to use it when I perform. On a typical day, I use the e.l.f. brow pencil. I have another pencil, or I use the Wet n Wild Brow End eyeliner, and this is in black. What should we do? Go. Since we're going with that sunny look. Sorry, I'm actually taking forever. I have a special brush for when I do my performance makeup. So use this, and I first line the bottom of my brow. I don't press very hard. I don't have very much eyebrow. And I follow the top, and I try to go a little bit lighter there. And then I fill a little bit. and it looks intense, but I'm gonna blend it out. And I know my eyebrows don't match. They're not sisters, they're not twins, or they're sisters, they're not twins. Okay. Yep, sounds about right. Now, big damn brush. Okay, so it was the one that I typically use for work. Usually, because I don't clean them as often as I should, so I don't want to mix the colors, because this one's a little bit more, like I said, dramatic, and I don't want to be looking hella strict at work. But you do with one, you gotta do with the other. Your sisters. Can't make them feel different. I don't know if you've ever grown up with sisters, but I have, and let me tell you, they know when someone's treated differently. They can sense it. Good thing I trimmed my eyebrows yesterday. They're looking like a hot mess. And yes, usually I will clean up, but I do highlight right here, so I'm gonna clean my brush. Okay, now that that's done, I'm pretty even so far. From here, my eyeliner is the very, very last thing I do. I know people are like, you should do eyeliner first so you don't fuck up. Well, me gusta la mala vida. So, what I'll do next is blush. Some people don't use blush. You don't want to use blush. Don't use blush. As me being performance ready, I use blush. The blush that I've actually been using lately is more subtle. I typically would go with the Too Faced Love Flush, or just apply my love, sorry. This one's actually a very bright, deep dramatic pink. For my typical day-to-day, I'll use the this is a Sephora palette, Wishes Come True, given to me by Michael Madre, and Feeling Pretty is the one I use for a typical day-to-day. For a more neutral, I'll also use this one, but because, you know what, I might use this one still. So, I use this little Ulta brush, and I try to get enough color. Oh, that is way too much color. I did not mean to pick that much up. Ooh, I'm looking hella dramatic. But it winds up working because this is actually more of the color that is in this tone. Okay. Ooh. Okay. When I have high cheekbones, so I like to apply it directly to the apple of my cheek. I became so much. So I'll smile, and what I'll do is, starting from here, I will do a sweep and come around, and come back up, and come around, and come back up, and come around, and come back up, and come around, just so I can get it directly on my cheek. You smell? It's there. So I look like a sweet little ray of sunshine, not like the evil resting bitch face that's always brooding. So, sweep and come around, sweep and come around. The other one is more dramatic. I like to use the other one more if I have more of a neutral color, or using the neutral tones. But because I'm using more of the, can you see my face? Jesus, I hate this. I need to moisturize more. I haven't been drinking enough water. It gives that pinkness, and I don't go too far up because I will be using a highlighter that has pigment in it. Okay, so Now for my highlighter. The highlighter palette I'm going to be using is the Revolution Pro HD Compliments of my friend Val. Look at that. Love these colors, by the way. So I'm going to be going with the spicy. Only so that we can complement this shade. Typically, yeah, actually that'd be a good one. Blending those two together. Depending on the type of whether the performance is during the day or the night, I would either do lit or whistle. Typically whistle, but we're going to be using spicy. And I use my bronzing brush. There's a little bit of spicy. And blend it up. I like to do more of a sweet. I don't like to use too much. I get pretty shiny already. I'm an oily person, and I don't go this far. I start from the very top of my cheekbone, go up, and then from here, like I said, I'll add some, bring it down, add some, bring it down, and sometimes I will just blend out a little bit. Just a little bit. Not too much, because again, I tend to get pretty oily and sweaty during performances, so. There we go. Not too much. And you can always add as much highlighter as you need. I am very shimmery, only because, like I said, I perform. This is typically what I do when I'm going to be performing. I'm looking for this. Now that that's done out of the way, I start putting things back. I like to organize. Because, like I said, I'm always in a hurry. Running around to performances and then doing my hair, getting it ready, and making sure I'm gonna go. For that's done. Give me half that. Lips and eyes. So before I do my finish, I always do highlight on my nose. And I love using these two, which is either Midnight Magnificence or Nighttime Glow. Nighttime Glow, love on the inside, like just on the tear. Notice the difference. And I'll blend it a little bit, only because it was a little bit too dry. Do a little bit. Love it. Depending, at nighttime, I will use the Nighttime Glow. To catch more of a light during the day. Well, typically I would actually like this one more for the bridge of the nose, and for sure. And then this I use directly, so I'll do. I like my nose is cute, so I like to do more of a call attention. I like to do like a little diamond on my nose actually. This is the star of my face. Is my nose. Cute spot on my face, my nose. So that's what I'll do. Do a little diamond shape on my nose. Some people just do a dot. I don't. And then, of course, Cupid's bow. Just a little bit. Not too much. I find it too much if people keep all of that area. So, and a whole bunch of brushes. No, pencils. Lips are last. Now for the part y'all been waiting for. My eyeliner. I like to do two different things. I like to use the NYX Epic Ink Liner. It's black waterproof for the inside to get more of that very fine. And then if I'm going to be doing dramatic, I will do the Maybelline waterproof liquid liner. only because it sits better, but sometimes I'll have to go in and fill because it dries pretty fast. And then it'll clump, and I really don't like that. No one has time for clumping. So, here we go. So like I said before, one of the key things is a lot of people don't have the space that I have, right? But I like to use this space because I have it. A very steady hand is the key to a good eyeliner. So, I'll try to use one hand, but you should never tug your eye, but I do because I like to break the rules. So, this is one of the things that I like, having this mirror, because I can look and get on the inner part of the crease without having to worry about stabbing the hell out of my eye or bleeding up into anything that I've worked on. But I can get it ridiculously close to the lash line, and I will go over it a few times, look at it. That's my starting point. And I was never a fan of these pencils, but with these you can actually get really close to the lash line. And even though I'm going to go over it again with this other liner, it actually prevents, what I like to do is with this, go over as close to the lash line as possible, so you don't have to have that odd look of skin tone or shadow color, because you've gotten the majority of your line done. So it's just like coloring, when they told you outline it first, then color it in. If you never took art, you're taking it today. So there you go. The hard part's done. You could just finish it right here if you don't want to be super dramatic. If you'd rather your shadow be dramatic than your eyeliner, I'm all about eyeliner. So, do one side, gotta do to the other. And this is where I usually like tug my eye. You shouldn't, but it helps me maintain a steady line because I am not left-handed. And if you get some on your eyelash like I just did, because I got lazy-handed, it's okay, because I'm going to go over it with mascara. As close as my lash line as possible. So far so good, right? And now we're gonna go hella dramatic. So now that that's done, time for dramatic. If you don't want to go dramatic, that's fine. I also, let me tell you right now, I will sometimes have very different eyeliner looks. I don't plan it. Whatever comes out on this eye, I mock on this eye. So if this one wants to be Amy Winehouse, this is Amy Winehouse's imitation. This one wants to be simple, this one's going to be simple. And I always do my left eye first because I'm not left-handed. So however this one comes out, I copy on this one because it's easier for me to do. So if I fuck up this one's going to be just as fucked up. So it looks like it was intentional. I'm not perfect, people. So, I knew this is my good liner. It wasn't an old one. This one was a bitch away. Actually, I'll hold on to it a little bit. Let me get some confused then. So I've been using for performances. Mind you, just performances. Ah, yes, you can tell by the fine point. So I'll start from the outside in, since the hard part's already done. And because I'm going to be dramatic, I like to go from as far as I can on the eyeshadow, keeping my hands really still, I like to, you can, if you don't want to mess up your makeup, you can always rest a napkin here, your fingertips. I don't have time for that. And I don't want to block your view. But you find the point you want it. If you want it to be less dramatic, you can come a little bit closer. But once you make that point, you start from the outside in. Try to make as straight of a line. So my line did not come straight. I'm gonna have to fix that right now. And that's okay though, because I can fix it. That's the perk. That's the thought process. I can fix it. Not shit, I fucked up. Don't think negatively. Positive. I can fix it. And I can always go through and meet it up. And if it comes out thicker than what you initially planned and don't want to have to redo it, just think, well, shit, we're dramatic today. See? So if I wanted to keep it a little bit more simple, I could do this. Just leave it the way that it is. Who the hell are we kidding? So, this is one look. I'm just filling it in. Because the shimmer, the downside of doing your liner after you do shadow is that it doesn't come out as black and you have to go a couple of coats. And people don't want to do that because they'll fuck up. And they spend so much time on their shadow. I obviously didn't. But, we're going to thicken this baby up. Because who doesn't like them dark and thick? So just adding to the top, making more a straight line across. I want to reach the top arch of the line already made. Did I mess up my liner? Of course I did. But I can fix it. Okay. That's fine. Let's keep it a little bit simple. Nothing too crazy. I'm not performing tonight. And this will be a pain in the ass to take off. So, I'm going to do the one side. I gotta do the other side. So now I gotta mock this on here. So, find the same point that I started at. And pray for the best. And I can fix it. Then I will do, I love the Maybelline Colossal Volume. Oh my god. Mascara. And I typically, I'm not gonna do it because actually, this is really hard to get off. But I will lean my head back as far as I can. Open my eyes as wide, and I get it as close to the line as possible. If you don't want to do that because you know that you're going to blink and you're gonna fuck all this up, what you can do, and I highly recommend, is you get a liner brush or a liner pencil. You hold your lid up and you color the tear line of as close as you can to your lash line. That adds darkness to it. Actually, let's do it right now. So what this will do is it'll add some darkness to your eye, and it'll just make it seem a little bit fuller, and you don't have to worry as much about having to get the mascara that close to your eye. I've been doing makeup for a long time, guys, since I turned 15, so I trust myself quite a bit. But please be careful. If you are worried about it, you can use a napkin if you need to. Put your lid up and get as close as you can to add that drama. And then of course you go over with your mascara as best as you can, as close as you can. I prefer waterproof only because I do sweat, so I get to my eyes when I perform, and you don't want to miss any of that. So now that that's done, left is lips. So for lips, I'm going to do something that you can take off, and I was gonna go with Café con Leche or a Maria, which is more of a pink tone, but I want to be able to take it off. So first, you want to moisturize your lips. My lips, like I said, are dry. I've been kind of working to fix that. Because I was congested for a couple of days. That didn't help. So I'm going to be going with Wanted, Victoria's Secret Velvet Matte Shade. It's actually not the color though. So let's do Wanted. I have Adorned. Oh, that's too bright. Let's see what this has. I'll go with Adored. The Café con Leche would have been a perfect color. Oh no, you know what? I'm gonna do Wanted. No, I'm going to do Wanted. Okay, so I'm so moisturized. If you want, you can do a liner. I don't have a nude liner actually. What? Nearly Nude, also Victoria's Secret, which has not been used. Obviously, it's been a while. If you need to line, by all means. I don't typically use liner. When I do is when I'm doing darker shades. But if I'm performing, I use the Long Lasting because the color usually tends to go into my teeth. But these colors. And finally, once you're all done, I use the e.l.f. Makeup Mist Set to set everything. I'm not going to because I'm going to want to take all this off. But I do several pumps of this. So what I want to do is I'll spray and I'll set it. Wait for a little bit. Once it feels a little bit dry, I'll set it again. I'll do this about 3 or 4 times only to ensure that nothing's going to get messed up. Like I said, I do this for performances. So there you have it. Hope you liked.